Welcome to today's custom-tailored deep dive. We are absolutely thrilled to have you with us.
Yeah, we've got a really great one today.
We really do. Our mission today is exploring a massive and practically invisible technological revolution happening right now in one of the world's oldest professions.
We are talking about the ancient world of locksmithing.
Exactly. We've got a formidable stack of sources to pull from: industry reports, advanced training manuals, hardware reviews, and insights from veteran professionals.
And we're going to see exactly how technology is completely transforming the locks on your doors and the keys in your pockets.
But before we jump into the deep end, this deep dive is sponsored by West Point Locksmith. With incredible 5-star reviews, they are fast, reliable, and professional locksmiths serving all of Los Angeles.
A great team.
Totally. From emergency lockouts to rekeying, smart locks, and car key replacements, they're available 24/7 to keep your home, business, and vehicle secure. Give them a call at 310-295-4040.
Okay, let's unpack this. We are looking at a journey from traditional, purely mechanical locks to today's futuristic, highly integrated smart security systems.
What's fascinating here is that the foundational mechanics of locksmithing haven't fundamentally changed this much since Linus Yale patented the pin cylinder lock way back in 1851.
Wow, 1851.
Yeah. For over a century and a half, the industry was all about, well, manipulating metal. But as you dig into the modern sources, you see this massive paradigm shift.
Right.
The modern locksmith industry is no longer just about cutting metal keys. It has evolved into an entirely different beast. Today, it is about selling security, digital integration, and peace of mind in a highly connected world.
Because if you think about it, anyone who follows this space already knows the basics. We all know how a standard pin tumbler works, the traditional flatland model.
Right, exactly. You've got your driver pins, your key pins, the springs, and that microscopic gap known as the shear line. For 150 years, the entire security industry, and by extension the art of lockpicking, was strictly about exploiting the tiny manufacturing tolerances of those metal components.
This is a purely mechanical puzzle.
Exactly. But looking at these recent industry reports, that era is rapidly coming to a close, isn't it?
It is entirely sunsetting. I mean, the mechanical lock isn't disappearing tomorrow, but its dominance is over. The latest IB's World and industry reports we gathered show a staggering statistic.
Yeah, I saw this.
81% of locksmiths say electronic access control is fundamentally changing their product portfolios.
81%. That is a complete disruption of their core business model.
It really is. Consumers aren't just looking for a deadbolt anymore. The demand is shifting aggressively toward convenience, smart home integration, and rapid on-demand digital support. A modern door lock isn't just a physical barrier to keep the weather out.
It's becoming a highly active node on a home's digital network.
Precisely.
The consumer tech driving this shift is genuinely wild. We've moved so far beyond the keypad deadbolts from 10 years ago. Now we're seeing locks utilizing Z-Wave and Wi-Fi.
And for those who might not be setting up smart homes every weekend, Z-Wave is essentially a specialized wireless protocol.
Right, it operates on a different frequency than your Wi-Fi, meaning your smart locks, lights, and sensors can all talk to each other without clogging up the bandwidth you're using to stream movies.
Which is crucial when you have dozens of devices. And these new locks, well, they don't even have a physical keyhole in some cases.
That elimination of the physical keyway is a huge psychological leap for consumers, but it's one they are making willingly for the sake of frictionless entry. Look at the biometric access options detailed in the hardware reviews.
The Wise Lock Bolt is a great example of this.
Exactly. It transitions you entirely from carrying keys to using your fingerprints. It recognizes your print in under a second and can store up to 50 different profiles.
Which is perfect if you have dog walkers, housekeepers, or just a large family. You aren't cutting spare keys that can get lost or copied. You're just provisioning access.
You just toggle them on or off in an app, and then you have the Apple Home Key integration on devices like the Schlage Encode Plus or the Acora U100.
Those are incredibly popular right now.
You literally just walk up to your front door and tap your iPhone or your Apple Watch against the pad, and you're in. It uses NFC, near-field communication, the exact same way you pay for a coffee at a register.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you start to see how these individual smart locks are being absorbed into broader security ecosystems. We're seeing the rise of 3-in-1 devices.
Like the ones combining cameras and locks.
Exactly. The sources highlight the UWFI Video Smart Lock as a prime example. This isn't just a lock. It combines a 2K HD camera with a wide aperture lens for night vision, a two-way video doorbell, and a biometric fingerprint scanner into one single hub.
All running off one power source.
Right, it's powered by a massive rechargeable battery. Think about the implications of that for a moment. It completely changes the concept of a front door.
How so? Because to me, it still sounds like it's just doing the job of a door, just with more gadgets attached.
Well, it changes the door from a passive, static barrier into an active surveillance and access management portal. The door is now watching the perimeter. It is logging exactly who enters and at what time.
I see what you mean.
It allows you to grant temporary access to a delivery driver from halfway across the world while watching them drop the package inside your hallway. The locksmith installing this isn't just securing a piece of wood to a door frame.
They are installing a critical piece of a home's IT infrastructure.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. The physical boundary of the home is basically becoming a digital firewall. But it's not just the front door of your house that's undergoing this massive transformation. The automotive locksmithing revolution is arguably even more advanced.
And honestly, a lot more complex. Automotive security is a fascinating parallel. It has evolved from simple physical latches to highly sophisticated encrypted computer networks on wheels.
There's a brilliant anecdote in one of our sources from a veteran locksmith that really captures this. He talks about getting his driver's license at 16 years old, throwing some basic tools in his trunk, and starting a lucrative business just opening locked cars in his neighborhood.
Back then, it was incredibly easy.
So easy. He used a Slim Jim, which is literally just a flat piece of band steel with a hook on the end. You slide it down the window glass, blindly fish around for the locking rod, pull up, and pop. The door is open.
A method that was as effective as it was crude. But gone are the days of the Slim Jim. If you tried to slide a piece of band steel down the window of a modern vehicle, you'd likely sever the wiring harness for the side impact airbags.
Or destroy the electronic window regulator.
Exactly. Mechanical bypass is dead in the automotive world. Today's vehicles rely on complex transponder chips embedded right into the plastic head of the keys.
And now we have proximity keys, or prox keys, where you don't even need to insert anything into an ignition. You just walk up to the car, pull the handle, the car recognizes the radio frequency of the fob in your pocket, and you just push a button on the dash to start the engine.
Which means the modern auto locksmith has had to fundamentally transform. They can no longer be just a mechanic with a ring of blanks and a file.
Right.
They have to act as a highly specialized mobile tech hub. The level of equipment and knowledge required to interface with the vehicle's onboard computer is staggering.
Let's walk through what that actually looks like in practice, because the sources detail a very specific high-stress scenario that locksmiths call AKL.
All keys lost.
It's exactly what it sounds like. You're stranded in a parking lot, your keys are gone, and you have no backup. A decade ago, you might think your only option is to call a flatbed tow truck, drag the car to a dealership, and spend thousands of dollars waiting days for a replacement.
But a tech-savvy auto locksmith can solve this right there on the side of the road using what the industry calls the pick, decode, cut, and program method.
Pick, decode, cut, and program.
Wow.
It is a remarkable process.
The first step is still physical, but it requires surgical precision. They pick the physical door lock, but they don't use a coat hanger or a basic tension wrench. They use incredibly advanced instruments called leashy tools.
Leashy tools, right.
These are precision machine devices that slide into the keyway and allow the locksmith to not only pick the lock, but actually read the microscopic depths of the lock's internal wafers while they are doing it.
There's a great real-world example in our manuals where a technician decodes a Ford Mariner. The source notes how they used a leashy tool to read the internal depths and map out the exact cuts needed.
It's a highly technical skill.
They only really had to physically pick one specific space number 6, because they could mathematically deduce the rest of the depth variations based on the manufacturer's code series. It's like doing algebra inside a keyhole.
And once that physical lock is decoded, they move to the cutting phase. This is where the digital transformation really shines. The industry has entirely moved away from needing dozens of different highly specific legacy cutting machines taking up space in a van.
Because now they use automated, computer numeric controlled, or CNC key cutting machines. The equipment guides highlight machines like the SEC E9.
Right, the technician just types the decoded numbers into a digital tablet and the machine takes over. These automated cutters can handle standard automotive keys, high-security laser cut keys.
Those are the ones with that squiggly line milled down the center, right?
Exactly. And even tubular barrel keys, all from one interface. It mills the key perfectly to factory specifications in minutes.
But cutting the key is only half the battle. A freshly cut metal key will turn the ignition, but the engine will immediately shut off because the car's immobilizer system hasn't recognized the transponder chip.
This brings us to the programming phase. The locksmith takes a high-end diagnostic computer. The sources mention sophisticated tools like the Autel, the Smart Pro, or the Andy Baby.
And they plug them directly into the car's OBD port. For those not familiar, the OBD port is the onboard diagnostics port. It's that little trapezoid-shaped plug, usually hidden right under your steering wheel, where mechanics plug in to read check engine lights.
Precisely. They interface with the car's internal brain, bypass the security gateway, and command the vehicle to accept the new digital signature of the freshly cut transponder key.
They are essentially writing new code to the vehicle's registry on the side of the highway.
That's incredible.
It's honestly like watching a scene from a heist movie, but they are doing it to save your afternoon. Which is a perfect time to remind you that if you ever find yourself in one of these nightmare all keys lost situations in LA, West Point Locksmith is the team you want to call.
They really are.
Remember, West Point Locksmith is available 2947 for car key replacements and emergency lockouts across Los Angeles. Give their 5-star team a ring at 310-295-4040. They have the advanced tech to get you back on the road without the tow truck.
It is an incredibly valuable, highly technical service. But this immense level of digital integration in both our vehicles and our homes brings us to a critical inflection point in the industry.
Right.
As we rely more and more on software to grant us physical access, the threat landscape shifts dramatically.
Here's where it gets really interesting. We have to talk about the dark side of this tech revolution, the cybersecurity considerations. When your lock goes digital, the line between physical security and cybersecurity completely vanishes.
Because, like you said earlier, a Wi-Fi-enabled lock is essentially a computer bolted to your front door.
Right.
And that changes the nature of the adversary. In the past, a lock's vulnerabilities were strictly mechanical and required physical proximity.
Right.
Intruders used destructive force or bypass methods like bumping, raking, or loiding.
Loiding is that classic movie trope where someone slips a credit card or a piece of plastic past a spring bolt, right?
Exactly. But today, the new types of attacks are entirely digital, and sometimes they can be executed from down the street.
The sources outline some pretty unnerving digital threats. We are talking about Wi-Fi network hacking, where someone breaches your router to unlock your door, and then there are Bluetooth replay attacks.
Those are particularly sneaky.
This was new to me, but it's essentially a digital eavesdropping technique. A thief uses a small receiver, maybe hiding in the bushes, to capture the radio signal your phone sends to your smart lock when you arrive home.
They record that encrypted unlock handshake.
Yes, and then simply play it back to the door later when you're gone.
It is a sophisticated attack that bypasses the physical lock entirely. And we also have to account for user error, which is the most common vulnerability.
Oh, definitely.
The very real danger of users setting weak, easily guessable passwords on their whole network apps, or reusing passwords that have been exposed in other data breaches.
It really highlights how the Locksport community has evolved, which is a fascinating part of our sources. There's a story highlighting Jeff Moss, a highly famous hacker and founder of the DFOCon conference, and how the Locksport and hacker communities operate today.
They aren't just sitting around with tension wrenches anymore.
No, they're actively discovering digital vulnerabilities, reverse engineering firmware, and finding physical bypasses in these smart locks long before the manufacturers even realize there's a problem in their code.
They found massive issues with early 3D printed TSA keys that were leaked online, and they routinely expose deeply flawed electronic lock circuitry where a simple magnet can trigger the unlock mechanism.
Just a magnet.
Right.
Ugh.
It creates a fascinating dynamic where these hobbyists and security researchers are essentially acting as an unpaid, open-source quality assurance team for global security manufacturers.
So if the locks on our homes and businesses are basically computers and the threats are cyber threats, the person fixing them has to be an IT specialist, right? You can't just be good with a metal file anymore.
Absolutely not. The modern locksmith industry requires serious, continuous upskilling. A professional today cannot survive just by duplicating keys at a workbench.
They need a whole new skill set.
They have to understand wireless networking protocols, troubleshoot Bluetooth handshakes, diagnose biometric scanner failures, and, most importantly, they have to be experts in fire and life safety codes.
I'm glad you brought up the life safety codes because the commercial implications here are massive. If an electronic access control system, like a magnetic lock on a set of glass office doors, is installed incorrectly or wired to the wrong relay, it could fail to drop power during a power outage or a fire.
It could literally trap people inside a burning building.
That is the ultimate nightmare scenario for the industry.
And it's exactly why proper certification is heavily regulated and so crucial. The Associated Locksmiths of America, or ALOA, which is the primary governing body for the trade in the U.S., has developed entirely new categories of credentials just to address this technological shift.
According to the certification sources, professionals don't just test on pin tumblers anymore. They now train extensively for the CEL, the Certified Electronic Locksmith, and the CMLL, the Certified Master Electronic Locksmith.
They take rigorous mandatory exams on low-voltage electricity, life safety codes, and ADA compliance, right alongside their advanced master keying and electronic bypass techniques.
This completely changes what you, the consumer, should demand when hiring a professional. When you are looking for security services today, especially in a major tech-forward hub, your expectations need to be significantly higher than they were 20 years ago.
You aren't just hiring a handyman, you are hiring a physical cybersecurity consultant.
Totally. If you're operating a business or securing a home in a major hub like Los Angeles today, you shouldn't just expect a guy showing up late in a rusty pickup truck with a bunch of metal blinks jingling around.
No, you should expect app-based dispatch, GPS tracking of your technician, and rapid mobile response.
The sources detail how modern technicians are driving custom-outfitted high-roof transit vans that easily cost upwards of $25,000 just to equip.
And that's just the interior build-out. They are installing heavy-duty power inverters to run their CNC key cutters off the vehicle's alternator, custom shelving for hundreds of different transponder chips, and carrying thousands of dollars in diagnostic programming tablets.
They are literally rolling tech laboratories.
Exactly. And when they arrive at your property, you shouldn't just be asking for a simple rekey. You should expect a full security audit.
A modern, tech-savvy locksmith should be looking at the Wi-Fi network strength at your front door to ensure your smart lock won't drop connection.
They should be checking your camera sightlines to make sure your video doorbell isn't blinded by streetlights.
And they should be advising you on your mobile app security.
And this level of cutting-edge, comprehensive 5-star service is exactly what you get with West Point Locksmith. Whether you want to upgrade your home to seamless keyless entry, integrate your business's security cameras with biometric access, or just need incredibly fast emergency service anywhere in Los Angeles, call 310-295-4040.
They are the definition of fast, reliable, and professional in this new digital era.
They really are.
So, what does this all mean for the future? We've covered the jump from brass keys to smart locks, the evolution of auto locksmiths into mobile programmers, and the new cybersecurity stakes.
It's a lot of change in a short time.
If we are already tapping our Apple Watches to open our front doors and using $3,000 tablets to program our cars on the side of the road today, where are we heading in the next 5 to 10 years? Let's look out toward 2031 to 2036.
Based on the industry trends, the patent filings, and the market analysis we've reviewed, the next decade will see mechanical locks relegated mostly to highly cost-sensitive, very basic, or purely legacy applications.
So they'll be the exception, not the rule.
Right. For new installations, both residential and commercial, smart security will be fully invisibly integrated. The buzzword will be ambient computing.
Ambient computing, meaning the security is happening in the background without you having to actively do anything.
Exactly. We will see AI-driven access control become the gold standard. These systems won't just passively wait for a digital key to be presented. They will use machine learning and analytics to detect unusual entry patterns.
Like what?
Well, the system will recognize if an authorized phone is being used to unlock a door at a highly unusual time, or if the gait and approach speed of the person walking up the driveway doesn't match the homeowner's typical profile.
And it will automatically flag it or require secondary biometric verification.
Exactly.
That is incredible. And I imagine as these devices become more ubiquitous, the hardware itself will have to evolve so we aren't constantly changing AA batteries in our doorknobs.
That is the other major frontier, the push for eco-friendly and sustainable locks. We are going to see devices made from recycled materials, but more importantly, we will see the rise of energy harvesting technologies.
Energy harvesting.
These are smart locks that capture the kinetic energy of you physically turning the door handle or use ambient light to trickle charge their own internal capacitors so they rarely, if ever, need battery changes. It will become a major industry standard.
It's amazing to think about. Your house will essentially know it's you walking up the driveway, verify your identity through your device's secure enclave, unlock the door, adjust the smart thermostat to your preference, and disarm the alarm all at once.
Without a single jagged piece of brass ever changing hands.
I really hope this deep dive encourages you to think a little differently the next time you pull a traditional metal key out of your pocket. The technology keeping you, your family, and your vehicle safe is evolving faster than ever before.
It is evolving rapidly, and it offers unprecedented frictionless convenience. But as we eagerly adopt these seamless, invisible security networks, this raises an important question for you to mull over. If the lock on your front door eventually requires a mandatory software update, an active subscription service, and a stable Wi-Fi connection just to let you inside your own home, who really holds the master key to your life? You, or the software developer.
Wow, that is definitely something to think about. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the massive technological revolution happening in the locksmith industry. Stay safe, keep your firmware updated, and we'll catch you on the next one.